ask you this, in a sense, philosophical question. We've gone a little bit into philosophy today. I believe, many people in my own state believe, that healthcare is a right, R-I-G-H-T, regardless of income, that every American has the right to the best quality healthcare that the system can offer regardless of income, that if you're a low-income kid, you're a wealthy kid, you have the same opportunity to access the healthcare system. Do you believe that?
I believe that every person ought to get good health care. And the Hippocratic Oath says that I would provide health care regardless of whether the person pays me or not. So I definitely believe that people need health care.
Give the mic over to Sophie.
How would free health care affect you as a physician?
I think the idea of free health care is a misnomer. Nothing is free. It comes at a cost. And that cost is measured in various ways. Other nations that have national health care, which can be free to the patients, often will restrict the number of procedures that can be done in a given year, meaning that patients often have to wait extremely extended periods of time before a necessary procedure can be performed. Those that are in the front of the line fare best, and those that are seeking the procedure when there's a backlog of procedures have to wait very long periods of time. That's why the nation of Canada, for instance, many of the patients leave Canada to come to the U.S. because the wait list is too long for them to hold out.
Is universal health care in the U.S. realistic?
I don't believe it is. I don't believe that adequate, sufficient, professional health care can be maintained at the low rates of cost that would be projected.
1,000 miles and poles apart.
Where would the U.S. get money to pay for universal health care?
If there were to be universal health care, it would be paid for by the taxpayers and by raising the current rates of insurance on those who can afford to pay. So those of us that pay taxes would pick up the tab for those people who cannot afford health care under current plans.
If we did have free health care, how would that affect the way it was managed?
If the government steps in to pay for health care, free health care, which is actually subsidized through our taxes, it would affect health care in several ways. The government interjecting themselves as the payer then gets to make the decision. So things that are often inserted then into the healthcare system would be a cost-benefit analysis for each procedure. Is it effective? Is it cost-effective? Does it increase the productivity of the patient? The state of Oregon, as an example, did a cost-benefit analysis of all procedures and found that kidney dialysis as a procedure, while it saved lives, was not cost-effective. So they crossed it off their healthcare system. Thus, if you had failing kidneys and needed dialysis and lived in the state of Oregon, you either died or had to move out of the state to receive care. And so once we enable our government to be big brother to us and to make these decisions, there will be winners and there will be losers.
Draper, the implication, again from my friend Senator Paul, is that we have kind of solved the problem of health care access in America, that any place in the country, I guess, anybody who has a problem, if you're on Medicaid, if you have no health insurance, maybe if you have health insurance, you just walk in the door tomorrow and find a doctor to treat you. Is that true, in your judgment?
Well, there's a huge body of literature that discusses the difficulties, particularly Medicaid beneficiaries have to finding a physician. There are many physicians who are unwilling to accept Medicaid patients, and also for those who are uninsured face equally challenging or maybe more so challenging access issues.
All right, my last.